In everybody to another episode of the Undefeated Sports Talk. Today it's just me and Mario. We chilling. We're going to be talking about the NFL Week 11, giving you our reactions because it was a crazy weekend. And the Bills, they looked horrible.
Yeah.
Peterman, we're going to get on to that. Getting on to how bad the Raiders are. They're Super Bowl favorites, number one favorites. They're horrible. Getting on to the Saints. Pulling off a great comeback against Redskins. The Vikings, great home win against the
Vikings
Rams.
are looking really good, really strong.
Yes. And then, obviously, the Browns still finding ways to lose. And then, obviously, the game of the night, Wentz versus Prescott. I think that conversation is over.
Yeah.
The Eagles dominated that game. But, first order of business, we have to talk about Sunday Night Football. The Eagles, to me, they proved that they are the 9-1 team they are. They proved that they're the number one team in the NFC East, number one team in the NFC in general, because they just completely destroyed the Cowboys last night. What do you think? What takeaways did you get?
See, I took away, I'm not knocking the Eagles' talent. Eagles are good. Eagles are a good team. I just feel like they faced a bad Cowboys team. They just faced a bad Cowboys team. You can't really say Eagles are the best if they haven't faced the best top-notch teams to me yet. Like, I feel like Eagles are good. They just haven't faced the Vikings yet. They haven't faced the Saints yet. They lost to the now Chiefs that are really bad. So to me, I feel like they're good, but they just haven't faced the best competition they could face so far in the season.
No, and you're kind of almost validating my point of why I like the Vikings the best out of there, because they played the toughest competition out of the Vikings, Saints, and Eagles, which we'll be debating in a little bit. But I agree. Really, the Eagles' two best wins are Chargers and now the Cowboys. And those two teams, they're good, but they're not
quality wins.
Yeah, they're not respective top of the line teams in their conference. But when I looked at them, Eagles without a starting linebacker Jordan Hicks, without their starting left tackle Jason Peters. And then you got the Cowboys, obviously without Zeke Elliott, that matters. But then they're without their starting left tackle, same as Eagles.
And they're without Sean Lee.
Yep, starting linebacker.
Basically, the Ezekiel Elliott of the defense.
Yeah, so Eagles are dealing with the same problems besides running back, because Eagles obviously have three running backs that are ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But it's just, so they're in the same situation, but yet they're not struggling. So it has to be Jerry Jones, it has to be Jason Garrett. I mean, Jason Garrett never coaches, but I don't know what their issue is.
I don't know. They have the talent to be good. They just don't want to be good. It seems like. I just feel like they're all built, even without really saying. I feel like their offense is only built around Ezekiel Elliott. Like that's what it seems like.
He's like I've always said, he's the engine to that offense. If he's not there, they're horrible.
Like, it's really weird. It's like Dak now is having a sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I feel like right now. Like,
he definitely played the worst game of his career last night.
Yeah.
Throwing 3 interceptions.
Yeah, I think one was returned for a pick six, but
yeah,
man, it was just a bad game to be a Cowboys fan or a Cowboy in general last night. Eagles went out, took care of business, dominated.
Yeah, Eagles, like I just said, it's they don't have a two run game punch. They have a 3 running back punch. You have Corey Clement, a rookie out of Wisconsin. I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't think he was going to be this good.
Did not think
and then the Dolphins are just stupid for giving up J.J.
So, yeah, Dolphins are just trying to help out the Eagles. They got a deal under the back table deal or something. Yeah. They have to be.
And then you also have LeGarrette Blount, who had a big year at Patriots and now comes to Eagles and still doing big things here. It's just, and then Wentz, he's everything that you need in a quarterback, to be honest.
Who would have thought the rookie a year ago out of North Dakota State. North Dakota State would be leading the NFL in QBR right now.
He's special. He's big. He's hard to get down. He can make throws. He has an arm. He's athletic.
Yeah.
He's
honestly,
the Russell Westbrook of football.
Honestly, you could almost compare him to Joe Montana or Steve Young. Honestly, like throwing wise.
Yeah.
Like he's a great quarterback.
I seriously, like we talk offset. I seriously tell you guys, he's the next Rodgers because he has the arm strength, he has the accuracy, he has the quick release. He's obviously bigger than Rodgers, but that's the only thing that he beats him on. But yeah, honestly, Dak just has to perform better. We've been wondering, without Ezekiel Elliott, how good is Dak Prescott? Carson Wentz without left tackle, Dak's without left tackle. Okay, Dak did not get as much pressure last night as what he has been. He was not getting hit. Alfred Morris had over 100 yards, and he still throws 3 interceptions. And from now, do you think really the Cowboys are just done? Is their season over? Because you're still without Elliott. I mean, Tyron Smith is projected to come back Thanksgiving, but you're still without Sean Lane and Ezekiel Elliott.
Honestly, I don't think they're done because their next few games are fairly easy. Like, I feel like their next few games are winnable without Ezekiel Elliott and their left tackle. But I really feel like they do need to win the majority of their next games to get wild card. Otherwise, they're probably not going to go very far. But somehow, some way, Cowboys always find a way to sliver into the playoffs every year. It seems like so.
Seems like lately, but this Thanksgiving game against the Chargers is going to tell us a lot. Because Chargers are obviously not a pushover team.
Yeah, Chargers have the talent now that we've seen it against what we're going to talk about later, the Bills. But
yeah, and basically when we talk about the Chargers, it's just get them into a close game, and you're probably going to win.
Yeah,
because Chargers can't win close games. So that's what the Cowboys need to do Thanksgiving. So I mean, I obviously think Cowboys season is over. I don't think they're getting playoffs because. What we have on the screen in front of us is we have Seahawks, Falcons, everybody who's watching us, and to me it's between those two teams who gets that 6th seed. I think Panthers are a lock, honestly.
Yeah.
They're with Cam Newton's just too talented, so
He's,
Cowboys...
he turned it around. If Dak Prescott pulls a Cam Newton, then I think they're going to be good. But unless he can't, I don't think he can do that without Zeke Elliott, honestly. It seems like he needs him there to be good, which is crazy.
Yeah. He takes so much pressure off of what he does every single game. He just relies on him way too much. But let's move on to what I mentioned when we started this was the Oakland Raiders and how bad they looked. They got smashed yesterday. They got thrown around. They got bullied by the New England Patriots on that. Basically, playing in Mexico for the Oakland Raiders is a home game, and they pretty much got shut out. Because when they scored, it was garbage time. Patriots did not care. And the question is really, I guess, is Brady and Belichick the greatest quarterback and coach duo to ever live? Because they're doing stuff that I don't think anybody else can.
Honestly, I say yes. I say yes. In our time that we've actually experienced quarterbacks and coaches playing, I would say yes. Like we've never seen a quarterback coach combo go 5 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Or it's just 3 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
Yeah,
like that's pretty hard to do. It's hard to win 1 Super Bowl, honestly. So
yeah, I can't think of any. I mean, you got Joe Montana, but I don't think his coach was any good. I mean, Steve Young, Terry Bradshaw, that was more of the defense to me.
Yeah, Dan Marino, all of them. Like, it's just honestly. It's not even the rings. He's good, and he has rings. It's like basically just if LeBron won every year. That's what it's like. It's crazy. Tom Brady signified that he is a 40-year-old player that can honestly probably still beat out most young quarterbacks coming into the league today.
Oh yeah, that's the crazy part. Is he's 40 years old and he's right now, honestly, to me, still the best quarterback in the league, and he's 40 years old. I mean, I like Wentz as much as I do, but Tom Brady, he's just picking apart defenses easily.
He's a veteran quarterback, and he's proven it why. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Brady retired at 45.
He said he wants 5 more years in him.
Like that, 45 years old, probably still win another Super Bowl, honestly. He's just that good.
And let me give you a quick stat that's probably going to make fans mad because you're probably going to see him right back in the Super Bowl again, is last year they were 8-2. Right now, they're 8-2. And obviously last year they made it to the Super Bowl and they won the Super Bowl when they were 8-2. To me, that's saying all the right things to get the Patriots back to the Super Bowl.
See, I feel like if the Patriots went to the NFC, I think they'd have a different outcome. I don't think they would be first seed. They're good. I don't even approach it. Patriots are good, but I feel like they don't face good defenses. They don't face good enough defenses to challenge them.
That's tough to say. I mean, to me, they're still top 2 seed because it's Brady and Belichick.
All right, take away Belichick.
Okay, take away Belichick, then because then that defense won't learn anything. But yeah, I don't know. I just think those two guys are too good of a combination, 1-2 punch at the quarterback and coach position. They just know how to teach and grow everybody on the football team.
Honestly, if you go to the Patriots, even if you don't start, you're lucky.
Yeah,
because you're going to automatically take that knowledge and become a good player. They make mediocre players great. That's what's crazy about the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
And right before the show, we were talking about their defense, and they were ranked dead last first 2 games, giving up, I think it was 38 points a game, and now they're top 10 defense, only giving up, I think, around 10, 14 points a game, and that's just telling you about Belichick and how good of a coach he is. I feel like if Belichick goes to... What's horrible? Belichick goes to the Browns. The Browns are still winning 8 games. I guarantee you. He's gonna learn. He's gonna teach you.
You know what? That you're right. Honestly, because the Browns aren't a bad team. They have great talent.
Yeah, they do.
Honestly, every team has the potential to be good. It's just the coaches.
Yeah.
It is literally in the NFL. It is literally the coaches, which is crazy. Like you can be the most talented team if you have a bad coach. You're not going to be good at all.
And that's goes to the debate we always have is NBA. It's about the player.
Yeah,
The
NBA
player makes your team good.
Yeah, definitely player.
NFL is the coach.
Which is crazy.
I mean, in my head, it has to be the strategy, I'm assuming, what they want to do. But let's transfer to the Raiders real quick because obviously Marshawn Lynch is making news in all the wrong ways again.
Yeah.
So obviously, people who don't know, he sat during the American anthem, stood during the Mexico anthem. And then, he has another horrible day on the ground. That's just back-to-back weeks. Really, his only good week rushing was against my Titans, 76 yards. That's still not even great. And then you have Amari Cooper and Crabtree. They've been silent. And then their defensive coverage is absolutely horrible. And what I mean by that is you put Brandon Cooks on the field, what do you expect him to do?
You expect him to score.
Score or go deep.
Yep.
And what did the Raiders do? You have 2 guys on him. They both feel like he's about to do a curl route, and he's by himself going deep. So they have issues everywhere. This is a hard question to answer. Do you have an answer of what they could do to fix this bad run?
Honestly, you don't. Like they're just not a good team anymore. I don't know what it is. Like you said, Marshawn Lynch, obviously his head's not in the game. Derek Carr, I don't know what he's doing anymore. He's Amari Cooper, a great talented receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's not getting open. He's not scoring, or he gets open, but he can't catch the ball. Michael Crabtree, his excuse. I mean, I give him a little slack because he's obviously a little bit older than Amari Cooper, but he's just not there anymore. And there's only 2 receivers, and there's only so much you can do as a quarterback when you only have really 2 good receivers to throw to, and a running back that can't really do good. So, honestly, they're not tanking. Obviously, they're not tanking. They're not on the Browns caliber or anything, but they need to kick it into gear. Otherwise, they can kiss any playoff hope goodbye.
Oh, they're definitely having a playoffs this year. I don't know what it takes to fix these guys because they have an offensive line. They got a running back. They got wide receivers. They picked up Jared Cook, decent tight end, and then you have a defense led by Khalil Mack. Not great defense, but at least you have a linebacker position. Yeah. They suck. I'm sorry, but they do. That's my only answer. I have no answer for it because you have everything.
Marquette King's pretty good.
you pay Derek Carr all this money, and
he looks like a bust.
He's
what's his name? What's the worst Raiders quarterback ever? He's almost on the
Jamarcus Russell.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's kind of like the same. Like you pay him all that money. He looks great last season. He looks amazing last season. Comes into this season, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now.
He's bad. Raiders. I don't know. I feel bad for whoever put Vegas votes on them at the beginning of the season.
I mean, didn't they have like a 17-1 odds or whatever? Or...
No, it was like 3-1.
Jeez.
They're the best.
Jeez.
Do that. But I'll tell you who did not make a good decision, or did not make the best decision for the team, was the Buffalo Bills. I don't know if they just wanted to create a storyline for America to laugh at. I don't know what they were doing, but they decided to bench Tyrod Taylor, who has you in the playoffs as of yesterday. So before the 3 o'clock game, Tyrod Taylor has you in the playoffs as 6th seed. Obviously, they're not in the playoffs after this guy named Nate Peterman, who was 6 for 14. You could say 11 for 14 if you want to count these 5 interceptions. But 6 for 14, and obviously 9 of those incompletions, or 5 of those 9 incompletions were interceptions in the first half, sets a record. And then you put in Tyrod Taylor the second half, and he gets you 17 points. But by then, obviously, the comeback was improbable for the Bills.
Yeah.
So obviously, did the Bills even make the right decision, or do they just need to stick with Tyrod?
Well, clearly, from what Nate Peterman just proved, you got to stick with the veteran quarterback in this situation. You're in the playoffs. It's too late in the season to want to decide to switch quarterbacks now.
Yeah.
I feel like Nate Peterman, he's a rookie, get thrown into a bad situation. I mean, that's still no excuse to throw 5 picks in the NFL. Right. But if you're a Bills head coach, that is a very not smart move for him. Like, you're in the playoffs. That's like, honestly, that's like a basketball reference here. That's like benching LeBron in the Game 7 of the finals when you're down. That's benching LeBron Game 7 in the finals when you're down by 10. Why you don't do that?
Yeah.
But I guess he thought I guess he thought it would be a good idea. It seems like he doesn't like Tyrod Taylor if you do that. But
I don't know what got into Doug McDermott's head, because obviously I keep telling people Chargers are a lot better than what their record actually shows. Yeah, they're 3-5, I believe, or 4-5. I mean, after yesterday's win, and that obviously does not show their talent. They have Melvin Ingram who can come at you any moment. He had a touchdown yesterday. You have Joey Bosa strip sack fumble, which turned into a touchdown yesterday. Their defense is really good. And then their offense with Phillip Rivers, it's always going to be a top 10 offense with Phillip Rivers. And you sit here and put a 5th-round draft pick in his first start against that defense. Horrible decision by Doug McDermott. And if he sticks with Nate Peterman, I think that's going to be a horrible decision, because Tyrod Taylor, he can obviously get you in the playoffs. And the Bills have not been in the playoffs since really early 2000s. And the Bills fans are waiting for it. And honestly, he needs to stick with Tyrod Taylor. Obviously, he's not going to be a Cam Newton, and I think that's what he's hoping for, because, Tyrod Taylor, he's this certain skin color, so he should be able to run, he should be able to pass, he should be able to pass accurately on the run. Well, he's still 60% completion rating above that. He's still, he's only thrown 3 interceptions on the year. He's playing great, and then you bench him for a first round pick. He throws 5 interceptions, more than Tyrod's thrown all year already in the first half. If you're the Bills, you start Tyrod Taylor, go with him the rest of the year, because the Ravens right now took their spot. Go with Tyrod Taylor, try to get back to that position.
Yeah, and also it's not like everybody goes out every single game and has a Tom Brady or Rodgers game every single game. People have bad games. People mess up. You don't bench a starting quarterback at that. You don't bench a starting quarterback at that over one bad game that he's had.
Yeah, and they really benched him because you lost against the Jets. Well, he got sacked 7 times against the Jets. I'm not going to be a quarterback and want to try to constantly stand in the pocket and get sacked 7 different times.
Yeah, you should yell at the offensive line, not the quarterback. The quarterback can't control getting sacked. I'm pretty sure if the quarterback controlled getting sacked, he wouldn't get sacked.
Yeah.
But
and the Saints game, everybody has their bad games, like you just said. I mean, he couldn't even get the ball in the end zone against the Saints. That's unfortunate. But then also the Bills' defense was absolutely horrendous that game, letting up 48 to an NFL team. That's bad if you're an NFL defense. So Bills, we both agree, obviously, stick with Tyrod.
There's no reason not to.
How about them Vikings, though? Once again, proved to everybody that their defense is elite. And like I constantly tell you and the other guys that usually come on set, Leon and Jarvis, that defense wins championships. This defense, to me, is the best in football. I believe they're like second ranked overall in defense, but to me it is the best. You have a Harrison Smith at safety, veteran. Xavier Rhodes, a veteran. He can lead guys, and to me he's one of the best corners in the game. You know that.
Yeah.
And pass rush, you got Everson Griffin, Daniel Hunter, Anthony Barr at linebacker. So this defense is for real. And you play the Rams, who have not lost a game on the road yet this year. You smack them around. You let Todd Gurley, I think I have it right here. Yeah, you let Todd Gurley on 37 yards and a touchdown. That's it. And Goff only had 225 yards and no touchdown. That's the number 1 offense in football. What do you think about the Vikings, I guess?
The Vikings proved me wrong. That's all I have to say. I thought Rams were going to go in there and not manhandle them, but I thought they were going to get the job done. But Vikings proved their defense is the real deal. They silenced, like you said, the number 1 offense in the NFL right now, and They just proved they're a definite Super Bowl contender right now, and it's looking pretty scary for the other NFC teams right now.
I just think the Rams, I think everybody's too early on them, honestly. I think they're too young. I mean, Todd Gurley, he's still young.
Yeah.
Jared Goff,
second
year, still young, and obviously his first year was horrible because Jeff Fisher, still young. And then that defense is still trying to get it all together and worked out. So, Aaron Donald's obviously elite, but that's about it. I mean, LaMarcus Joyner, he's good. Just got to work with their other coverage. But then if I flip the side of the Vikings, I'm not going to say I like Case Keenum in the clutch or in the playoffs. But if he can continue what he's doing, then I do like him in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, like I was saying again, everybody has a bad game, and I feel like Case Keenum's going to have a bad game at the wrong time, though.
I mean, the good thing is with the Vikings, why I picked them as my Super Bowl favorites a couple of weeks ago, is just because Case Keenum has that bad game, you still got another starter, Teddy Bridgewater. So you basically have two starters now, and then if somehow Sam Bradford can come back and forth, then that's three starters. But then you also have that 1-2 punch. Dalvin Cook went out.
Yeah.
Everybody's scared for this running game. I wasn't, obviously, because I saw what Latavius Murray did at the Oakland Raiders. He had 95 rushing yards yesterday, 2 touchdowns. And you have Adam Thielen, who's been straight balling. He's 123 yards and a touchdown. The week before, he had like 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's playing lights out. So I think if this Vikings offense can keep up with their defense, I think they're as dangerous as anybody.
Yeah, the only thing is, I really feel like the Saints can challenge them the best again. Like, I know they already had a head-to-head and the Saints lost to them, but I feel like that was too early in the season. Like, early in the season, not everything was figured out yet. But I honestly feel like now, if the Saints and Vikings faced off right now, I honestly feel like the Saints would take it. But, like, that's not me being biased or anything, but I really feel like from what I've seen, Saints defense has stepped up. I know, I'll talk about that in a second, but I know Saints defense had a little hiccup right now, but I really feel like their defense stepped up just as good. Not at the same caliber as Vikings defense, but they're like probably one notch behind them, and their offense is honestly, if not better, like the same to me. So I feel like the Saints and Vikings are pretty head-to-head, honestly.
Yeah, we're going to get to that at the very end because, I mean, obviously, I want to touch on the Saints real quick because you've been bringing them up. I mean, I'd obviously have to take the Saints offense above the Vikings because, I mean, you obviously have the Mark Ingram yesterday who had 134 yards and another touchdown. That's 2 consecutive games over 100 yards. Drew Brees is a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer with 385 yards yesterday and 2 touchdowns. So really, when I watched that game yesterday against the Redskins, it wasn't about these running backs. It was about Drew Brees. Drew Brees had to do the work to bring them back, and that's exactly what the Saints need.
Yeah, I think in the last 2 drives, I saw Drew Brees went 11 for 11. I think 164, 2 touchdowns in the last 2 drives to make the comeback.
Yeah, and they're down by 15 in the fourth quarter.
Like 6 minutes left, and
and
team on its back.
Honestly, to me, this was horrible Redskins because the Saints defense was obviously horrible the entire game. To me, Kenny Vaccaro is the guy that makes up that defense to me.
Yeah.
I just mentioned Kenny Vaccaro, but then they had 2 other starters that were out, and they just got torched by the Redskins. I mean, Cousins had 322 yards and 3 touchdowns. P. Ryan had 117 rushing yards and a touchdown.
It was just looking like a bad day for the Saints defense.
Yeah, the Saints defense was horrible. I mean, the offense wasn't playing too great, but then why I said bad Redskins is that final touchdown by Alvin Kamara bobbles the ball, and somehow he catches it and goes right through 3 different Redskins. If you're the Redskins, how do you not make that tackle, especially if you're DJ Swearinger? He's one of the hardest hitting safeties in football.
I don't know. It was just a costly hiccup for that defense.
Yeah. But I guess bottom line for me with the Saints is for me to call them the best or the second best in the NFC, I need their defense to stop letting up multiple points to mediocre teams. Because, I'm going to let the Bills game and Panthers game reside on this one because obviously Bills held to 3, Panthers held to 6. But besides that, teams are getting over 20 points every single week against the Saints.
Yeah.
And you can't always rely on Drew Brees. Obviously, that offense is probably the best in the NFC with Drew Brees leading the way. But eventually, playoffs are going to hit you. Yeah. And that's when defenses step up as playoffs. And so this defense of the Saints has to step up when it comes to that. And, Yeah, and then also is the schedule. You mentioned the Eagles' schedule. Well, the Saints' schedule is not much better because they really haven't played anybody. Redskins is just a mediocre team. And then the two teams that actually have really good quarterbacks, have good defenses, they lost to. I mean, yeah, it's first 2 weeks, but it still counts as losses. So it'd be interesting to see them against the Vikings if they meet up in the playoffs.
Yeah, it would be. I also Saints are one of the only teams right now the only team in NFL history to go start 0-2 and after that win 8 straight. But
it's impressive what they have done,
especially since last season. Man, missing the playoffs.
I think next week's gonna be pretty interesting when they play the Rams.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested in that too. See if the Saints defense can step up just like the Vikings defense. Because actually this week, even though Kenny Vaccara's coming back, now our top pass rusher Alex Ogretree just got injured, torn Achilles, out for the rest of the season, just like Richard Sherman. I feel like it's the year of the torn Achilles tendon this year for good defenders. So I'm a little nervous to see how we regroup from that one. But we just signed another linebacker. I forgot his name right now, but we just signed another linebacker from the practice squad up. So hopefully he steps up and has some really big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he does. Because Okafor's been a beast on the linebacker or the left end position, I believe, or right end position for the Saints. But a team that we're gonna have to touch on in these next games will kind of fly through. But if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, yesterday's loss has to be embarrassing. You play the New York give up football Giants, who are giving up on their coach, and you lose to them in overtime. Obviously, if you're the Chiefs, you have to be disgusted with this. You're coming off a bye. Andy Reid's, I believe, 8-2 off buys, and you lose to the 1-7 at the time, and now obviously 2-7 Giants.
Honestly, if you ask me, both teams played horrible, both teams, but the Giants' rush defense all of a sudden stepped up because they tried to go to the ground and just didn't go anywhere. Offense for the Giants obviously wasn't much happening. I think 3 field goals were kicked. That's it.
Yeah.
It was really just a bad performance by both teams. It just Giants edged it out somehow and just took care of business. But if you're Ben McAdoo, you should still probably be on the hot seat if you ask me. If you're Andy Reid, you should really be evaluating your team and your coaching staff to lose to a 1-7 at the time team.
Yeah.
And,
as far as the Chiefs, you just got to get back to your playbook. Like, you got to get back to what you were doing when you hit 4-0. You got to get back to. You got to get Kareem Hunt the ball. Your offensive line has to get better. And it's not been great. And Alex Smith, I don't know who switched up the offensive playbook for the Kansas City Chiefs, but it just went back to what they were last year. It's short passes. Let Alex Smith throw those couple deep balls like he did at the beginning of the season. That's when they were successful because then it opened the field up. Opened the field for Kareem Hunt to run.
Because if you only throw the short passes in like little part of the field, its defense are going to easily collapse on that. You got to spread out the field like you said. You got to throw the deep ball occasionally, or even maybe just throw the deep ball on first down. Throw the defense off just to give them a taste or something. Run a play action. Like, you guys are just straightforward, easy to read football. Like, you're not going to win championships like that. Like you said, play how you were when you were 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
But if Andy Reid doesn't want to change that, then they're just going to watch their playoffs slip away again.
I agree. I don't like Chiefs right now at all, and obviously they're going to make the playoffs because Raiders, Broncos, Chargers find ways to lose. Another team that finds a way to lose is the Cleveland Browns.
This makes me laugh.
Somehow, some way, they always find a way to lose. And their defense was stout. It was amazing throughout the entire game. Jaguars had a total of 10 points on offense. But yet, that offense and Deshaun Kaiser kept turning the ball over. Last 3 possessions, all you have to do is get a field goal against the Jaguars. Kaiser doesn't get anything. They have to punt it. Second one. He actually fumbles.
Yeah.
Next one. Fumbles at his own 10. Jaguars go in there, get a fumble 6. The Browns are going to win.
I honestly don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, it's not me being like Browns are bad. It's just like you said, they find a way to lose. Like, Browns just know how to lose football games. I honestly think it's the quarterback situation though. Like, you got to have a decent quarterback to win. Deshaun Kaiser's not that guy.
No,
Definitely not. They have the talent on offense. They have their defense. Actually, if you think about it, their 2 draft picks, Myles Garrett, Julius Pepper, and I can't think of his name.
Myles Garrett.
No, Myles Garrett and crap, what's his name? Anyway, the other draft pick. Their defense is actually pretty stacked. It's just the coaching staff and the quarterback in this situation. They just can't win it. They're not going to win a game this year.
Yeah, I don't see them winning a game. Every week I say or pick the other team over the Browns because I know they're probably not going to win with Deshaun Kaiser at quarterback. He's bad. I obviously thought when he first went into the league, I obviously thought he went in too early, and that's obviously the answer. As for another team that had a horrible performance yesterday were the Green Bay Packers. If you're them and you're without Aaron Rodgers, you might as well just throw in the white towel because you played a horrible Bears team last week, and then you get shut out at home for the first time since 2006, I believe. Brett Hundley, he had 239 pass yards and 3 interceptions.
Yeah, he goes from having the best day of his career to one of the worst days of his career.
Yeah, and the Ravens are okay,
Yeah.
but they're not great.
Yeah, they're not shut the Packers out great.
No.
So it's going to be an interesting. It's going to be interesting for the Packers here on out to see what happens. See how Mike McCarthy handles that shutout and how Rodgers gets on Brett Hundley. I don't know if Rodgers really cares they got shut out. I just think he just wants to get the W. I feel like Rodgers is a great quarterback, veteran quarterback. Maybe Brett Hundley's not very good.
Yeah, I still think Brett Hundley's very good. I mean, Rodgers wants him to try to get a couple wins so he can come back and go for the playoffs, but right now it's not looking too promising.
Yeah, I don't know. Packers just the worst of the worst possibly could just happen to them. It's just not looking hot.
Yeah. Another team that lost was the Chicago Bears. Connor Barth, the kicker for the Bears. Are you serious? You have a chance to tie the game up. After Trubisky led a great game-winning drive down the field, or game-tying drive, should I say, actually, Connor Barth just completely shanks the ball to the right. Embarrassing.
Yeah, it was honestly, really, if you think about it, it's just the Bears as a whole. They had a 10-0 lead. If we go back, they had a 10-0 lead.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they just gave it up. They got too comfortable. That's what happened. They got too comfortable with the lead. They're not used to being in control of the game, and then they didn't know how to react to that. So they just got comfortable, and the Lions just took care of business. Marvin Jones, I think, had 2 touchdowns in that game, and the Lions defense stepped up. Not really stepped up because they were still getting beat, but they just handled them. Like I said, the Bears didn't know how to handle the lead. So
yeah, and if you're the Bears, I mean, you have obviously a superstar running back, and also if Jordan Howard leaves there, they're done.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Howard had around 25 yards yesterday and a touchdown, so it's obviously not him. I don't even know about the Browns. I mean the Bears. I don't know. The northern teams right now are looking as bad as it gets. It's all about the southern teams besides the Patriots, the Seahawks, the normal teams that are up north. Another game that we're not going to spend time talking about because nobody cares is the Bucs and Dolphins. Besides that kickoff play at the very end of the game, which the Dolphins let the Bucs have another touchdown. But besides that game, we had the Houston Texans. They got a win with Tom Savage for the first time. I guess I was impressed with Tom Savage and the Houston Texans fans, but my storyline here is that a running back that I used to enjoy watching at Texas, now he's being successful at the Houston Texans, Deontay Foreman, seals the game with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but on his second touchdown, he tore his Achilles while being tackled into the end zone, and now he's out for season, and he was straight up balling yesterday. He had 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. And now he's done, so there's another Achilles injury
Man, I don't know what would be worse, Achilles or ACL. It just seems like if you're a good player that really contributes to your team, you're gonna get injured. It's honestly like that. Rodgers, now Deontay Foreman, Alex Ogretrefort, Richard Sherman.
Yeah.
It's just if you are a key player on your team, you are gonna get injured this year. It seems like.
You came up with that. I came up with the state of Texas NFL football has had the worst luck this year. You have J.J. Watt gets injured, Deshaun Watson, now Deontay Foreman. You had Sean Lee, Tyron Smith, and then Ezekiel Elliott gets suspended.
Yeah, if this Texas, like you said, Texas football is just it's not a great year for Texas football.
Besides Texas, if you go up a little northwest and you go up to Denver and you look at the Broncos, they are still horrible on offense. Brock Osweiler is obviously not the answer. He's a joke. And that defense, if I'm that defense, I give up too. They keep giving up. I do it too.
Honestly, now we see that defense cannot do it all. We see Broncos defense is amazing, but the offense is completely lost. Their quarterback situation is almost equivalent to the Browns situation. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's probably the same.
Like their quarterback's not reliable. He's not a very good passer. He just doesn't know how to read defenses. He needs to get out of there. But that's the best they can do. And the defense is paying the price for it. The defense can't keep up because they're constantly on the field. They're getting beat by they got beat by the Bengals. The Bengals.
Yeah.
The Bengals. I believe the Broncos were actually at home and they got beat by the Bengals. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's not something you would expect.
Yeah, but what I seen out of the Broncos, obviously they're trying to switch it around with the offensive coordinator. They obviously fired their offensive coordinator this morning, actually. So, I mean, they're trying to change it, but with Brock Osweiler, Simeon, and Paxton Lynch, you're not going to get the job done. To me, just keep losing football games. Excuse me, and draft somebody to help out that big offense.
Honestly, but I feel like you can't blame it on the offensive coordinator. Like, Brock Osweiler sucks.
He does.
Trevor Simeon sucks. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Paxton Lynch, so I don't really know. But I feel like he'd be a Nate Peterman, honestly.
He is.
So it's the quarterback situation. You can't blame that on the you can't put a shark in fresh water. So. Oh, I guess you can. There are fresh water songs. Sure. You can't put a. I don't even know the analogy for that. Man, it's just it's not fair for the offensive coordinator to get fired. If you ask me,
it's not. But we said it comes down to coaches in NFL, not players. So you got to take the blame for it.
But it's not his fault. Brock Osweiler can't throw an accurate pass.
Well, we all know that. Texans learn the hard way. So going from all those games, let's go ahead and give our little standings of each conference. I'll start out with the AFC. I'll let you go with the AFC.
All right.
But here are the standings in my eyes. Yes, you're gonna think I'm biased on this, but I have a reason.
All right.
I have Patriots at 1, obviously, because Brady Belichick. Steelers at 2. Offense is great. But I still have the Titans at 3. That is because I can't put I got the Jags at 4. This isn't obviously the actual ranks, because obviously you got to do one conference at a time. I'm just doing my own rankings of what I see the top 6 teams in the AFC. So I have Titans at 3, Jags at 4. That is because head-to-head, Titans smack the Jags. So I'm going to pick the Titans over the Jags because they obviously beat them. So obviously I feel like my Titans are better than Jags. We've just had a harder schedule. We had to go to Pittsburgh on a Thursday night. Jags did it. They had a Sunday game with Pittsburgh and in warm weather. We had cold weather. We're used to warm weather as well. And then I have Chiefs at 5 still, and I have the Bills at number 6. I think they're still better than the Ravens. They just decided to make a horrible decision with Nate Peterman instead of Tyrod. What do you got?
See me, I have obviously first two are the same. Chiefs, or my bad. First two are the same. Patriots, Steelers, number 1 and 2. I have Jags at 3. Jags beat Steelers. Jags beat the Browns, which Titans struggled with for most of the game.
No, I mean Jacksonville did team size.
Okay, but yes, but I just feel like Jaguars are just like a more put together team. Like the quarterback situation is not. I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna go based off defenses. Jaguars seem like they can get it done on defense. Titans, they can't. It seems like they're not. They're not just ready for the top level yet. They're not used to it. And then I'm honestly surprised the Jags are. But then I have Titans at 4. Titans at 4. I have believe it or not, I actually have Bills at 5, and then no, not believe it or not. Bills at 5, and then I have Jets. I have Jets at 6.
How the Jets? They have a losing record.
But I feel like they're a strong team. They're going to overcome that. I feel like the Jets are just cooking up something. If you realize, and if you remember in the earlier seasons, Jets challenged the Patriots. They're challenging teams. They blew out the Bills, actually. They blew out the Bills.
But they lost to the Bucks at Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Barely. It was just an unlucky loss. But I really feel like the Jets are going to squeeze in there for the wild card. So that was mine. I got
good luck.
I got Patriots. Patriots, Steelers, Jags, Titans, Bills, Jets.
Jets. I can name a lot of these over the Jets.
Well, you can name
Chiefs,
the Chiefs, yeah. But I really feel like the Jets are gonna shock everybody. They're gonna squeeze in there for the 6th seed.
All right. I mean, obviously the biggest debate is
The Jets.
I mean, yeah, but I was just saying, like, with everybody, even when we have our full crew here, is obviously who's better, Titans or Jaguars, because obviously that's
like the closest matchup.
Yeah, so that's obviously going to be the most interesting. I mean, obviously everybody has Patriots, Steelers at 1 and 2, and they're probably going to meet up again. But NFC, I don't know if you want to go first, but I mean, I can go first real quick. You want to go?
Yeah, I can go first.
Right, go
I have Eagles. I'm going to be a little biased here, obviously. I got Eagles, Saints, Vikings, Rams, Seahawks. I got Seahawks 6. Or, my bad. I got Seahawks 5th. And then I got, obviously, Panthers. I feel like that's like mostly everybody except the second one. But I just, really quick, I feel like that's how it is. That's how it should be to me. But
see, our rankings are virtually the same sides. We flip-flop Saints, Vikings, Panthers, Seahawks. See, I got Eagles at 1. To me, they're obviously the best. Vikings at 2. They're just dynamic on every side of the ball. The Saints I have at 3, obviously, because that offense. They just need to face a little bit tougher competition. They lost to Vikings, so I give the Vikings the head-to-head over the Saints. And then Rams at 4. Even though they lost to the Vikings, Rams still have a really good football team.
yeah.
Panthers at 5. I just like Cam Newton. He can get the job done at any time. And then the Seahawks at 6. Even without Cam Chancellor, without Richard Sherman, Russell Wilson is just he's a great quarterback. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.
Who would you say is first in, like, to get, like, if one of the top 6 teams lost, who would you say in the NFC, who would you say is one of the first ones to get in?
Honestly, who we're watching right now. It is, because they're right there from getting in. They're 5-4 right now, so if they win, they're going to be 6-4, and they're actually in.
Yeah.
They kicked the Seahawks out and put the Falcons in at the 6th seed. So you have 3 NFC South teams, which I actually call at the beginning of the season, which would be the toughest conference in football. You'd have 3 of the teams: Saints, Falcons, Panthers.
Yeah.
And I should have called the Bucks to win that division, but that clearly did not work. But I did say it'd be the toughest division, so I'm going to stick to my word on that. But yeah, I see Falcons if anybody.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. Honestly, even the actually, I'm not even gonna say that. Never mind. But I agree with you. I really feel like they're a strong team. I was gonna say Cowboys, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But I really feel like that's a pretty good standings. I feel like everybody's gonna agree with you on the NFC standings more.
Mm-hmm.
Probably even the AFC. I don't think anybody's going to think the Jets are going to be in there.
No.
But hey, watch. You guys here first. I'm saying the Jets are going to squeeze, but they're going to make the 6th seed this year. You guys watch.
You guys obviously all heard our predictions. You heard what we think of the top 6 teams in each division. Remember, it's not who we think is going to make the playoffs. It's just who we think are the top 6 teams in the conference. Let us know what you thought about those. Leave us your comments. Leave us what you think are the top 6 teams. overall in each conference, and let us know what you thought about our reactions to this NFL week. Give us your reactions to the NFL week. Give us questions we'd love to answer. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at just Tyler Hurst, my name, and then go give us a shout out if you can, and go follow our Facebook page at Undefeated Sports Talk Show. And don't forget to hit that like button, because it's literally right below the video. It's easy to see.
Oh, it says takes 1 second out of your day. You just got to click it, keep it moving. You're good.
Oh, show. So we're actually going to be back on in 5 minutes. We're going to be talking about college football and our takeaways from that. And we are going to give you what we think the playoffs should look like now. So stay tuned. 5 minutes, college football coming at you live.
Yeah.
Someone did too, and right at the very end.